there is no coming back from this. Hear what Dougie Hamilton's agent had to say. We'll talk about the return of Johnathan Kovacevic, when that will be, and Stefan Noesen could be out a while. We'll chat all about it today here on Devil's Digest. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan the Goose Gosiker. Let's get right into today's program. However, before we do, we have to thank Kalshi for being the official sponsor of this video. Okay, so let's get right into it. You can download Kalshi using the link below in the description and enter code Digest NHL to get $20 when you trade $100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States. On their platform, you can trade yes, no on really anything, sports, elections, everything. They have it all. And whether you're in California or New Jersey, maybe, all right, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. For sports fans, trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, player performances. We'll talk about that. All on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time you want. Okay, so Kalshi, here we go. My pro football game of the weekend. Okay, I know they did a lot with the college. Okay, I don't know how they did in terms of with the Indiana-Oregon game. Obviously, Indiana blew them out a little bit. But I've been saying the last few videos, this is my favorite NFL game right here. I like the Patriots over 3.5. Okay, and I like the total under 45.5. So it's going to be a fun game, and I hope everybody checks it out. Get the Kalshi, okay? Because it's genuinely a smarter way to use your sports or news knowledge. You can close positions whenever you want. So download Kalshi, okay, with the link in the description, and use code DIGESTNHL. Don't forget to use DIGESTNHL to get your $20 bonus when you trade 100. And thank you once again to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back into the Devils news, and we'll chat about it. Man, for a team that's been struggling so much, we've talked about the lack of moves, okay, and there's got to be something coming soon, right? There needs to be movement. There's got to be, come on. Somebody's got to get fired or traded. Well, the Devils practiced today ahead of a monster doubleheader, which I was actually speaking with a friend of mine, a coworker of mine from a different company, okay, and we were talking about, man, what if this Devils team loses the back-to-back and they go home on the 14th against the Kraken? What is that building going to be like? Now, that's 2 games away, so we won't chat about it now. But boy, oh boy, at practice this morning, there was a monster development, and that is Dougie Hamilton was practicing on the 4th pairing. He's out there with Colton White, Johnathan Kovacevic, taking reps with Jonas Siegenthaler, which, if you can put puzzle pieces together, really seems like Dougie Hamilton is out of the lineup. Johnathan Kovacevic back into the lineup. Man, my head is spinning, right? Healthy scratch. Dougie Hamilton trying to get him to waive his no trade clause, no move clause, whatever it is. Okay? Whatever it is, he can't go anywhere until he approves it, okay? Unless it's in his 10 teams. And what we do know about Dougie's 10-team list is that it's all on the East Coast. Do you think the Devils are going to trade him to the East Coast? I really don't think so. San Jose has been the team that's been rumored. It's been out there, okay? That's where I think the Devils want to send him. But they have to work together. And when a player has a no-trade clause, and specifically a 10-team list that he would go to, and which would mean a 20-team list that he wouldn't go to, then things start to get messy. It's like a food fight in school. Somebody throws the yodels, somebody throws the ring dings, okay? Somebody starts launching animal crackers, okay? This is going to get very, very ugly. Goose, how ugly is it going to get? Well, it took us all of a couple hours. Here is from Dougie's agent. Dougie was informed today that he will not be playing now that Kovacevic is back in the lineup. In our view, this decision is all about business rather than his game right now. Singling him out seems very calculated at this stage. Dougie has a 10-team trade list, and there have been efforts to trade him going back to the draft last year. We have made it clear to the Devils that we will consider teams outside of our list and other creative ways to get a team that is mutually acceptable. So Hamilton's camp willing to be flexible beyond 10-team list if it means finding a suitable team in a trade. First of all, I'm just going to say this. Full of crap, okay? This is agent speak right here. This is the agent. Sports agents go to school. They have to study this stuff. This is the number one thing they're taught to do. You know how in customer service jobs you're always taught the customers right? kind of the same thing with agents, right? Your client is always right in your eyes. Has to be, right? Because if they don't have your support, then who if everybody else is against them, who else is going to have their support? Okay? So this is agent speak right here. This is all, and a lot of this stuff is just comical, man. I mean, this idea that we will consider teams outside of our list and other creative ways to get a team that is mutually acceptable. Could you add in there except for Vancouver and San Jose? Now, again, I've been reading the comments. See, some of you agree with the non-Vancouver, right? Because you didn't want Quinn Hughes here. Some of you did, some of you didn't. Okay? If you wanted Quinn Hughes here, you should, hate his agent for not, and them for not taking that deal. Now, again, the player is allowed to exercise his no move and no trade clause. So I want to make that very clear. So it's not Dougie Hamilton's fault. However, when you put out a message, a stern message that says we're willing to work outside the list, and they've presented you already with two options outside of the list, and you said, blatantly have said no. Now we'll see if the San Jose thing continues to go through, but you've blatantly said no to one, and you're basically going to, it looks as of right now, you're going to say no to two. So is it we're willing to work outside the list, but it's only a short list thereafter that we're willing to work with? Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is agent speak, and this is how agents are supposed to defend their clients, okay? Again, singling him out seems very calculated. Let's see. This decision is all about business rather than his game right now. Now, there are some underlying metrics where you'll say, Goose, see, Dougie is, contributing. And then there's the stone cold numbers. 5 goals, 10 points total on the season, that tell you otherwise, that he's not producing, especially not at a $9 million clip. And if you remember, even going into the season, we said, okay, well, he hasn't been producing as much, but remember, he was the first free agent that really chose New Jersey, this, that, and everything else. Well, now he's not producing. Again, how long can we continue to hold on to the rope? I love Dougie Hamilton. I think he's a great locker room guy. I think he's great in the... I think he's even... Let's leave the locker room for a second. I think he's an even better community member than he is above anything else. Okay? And he had some great moments here. But it's time. It's time to go. And the Devils need cap space, not only to be able to bring Kovacevic back. Okay? We'll talk about the specific caps. I'm going to do another video on that, so stay tuned for that. But Dougie, the Devils need the cap space now. They need it in the future. And I've talked about this before. And I'll leave this up here so in case you missed it, didn't get a chance to read it. The Devils have a problem on the right side of their defense. I said it last year. I said it going into the season. I'm sure Aiden said it. I think everybody and their mother said it. Maybe Mr. Devil said it too. They have too many right-handed defensemen. You're going to have to trade somebody. Well, let's see. Brett Pesce's not going anywhere. You just inked him last year. You inked Kovacevic last year. Nemec is growing frustrated and needs some opportunity up here. And don't forget that guy Seamus Casey down there too. So now you're talking, and you include Dougie Hamilton. That's 5 guys for 3 spots. Okay? This Devils team has seen nothing from their veteran leadership, which is what Dougie would fit into on a team. And if we're doing tiers on the team, Dougie should be in the veteran leadership category. Well, how's veteran leadership doing this year? How's that doing? Now, again, some of you will point to the captain. And you'll say, well, where's the captain? Okay, that's a fair assessment. Okay, remember, there's one captain. Okay, which means that doesn't mean all the other guys just get to slack off and then it's the captain's got to pull everybody. Veterans on that team have to be leaders. Okay, which includes Dougie Hamilton. He's not playing like a veteran leader. He's not playing like a guy that should be getting $9 million from his team. Shimon Nemec has played exceptionally well this year at times and has been remarkably clutch for this team. He has a hat trick this year. Okay? And he is ascending into, again, I think a spot where he deserves some NHL time. Well, now you're at the point where he deserves NHL time, and Johnathan Kovacevic is coming back. So you sending Shimon Nemec to Utica? I'm not. Are you? Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you leave us a comment, but I'm not sending him to Utica. Which means somebody out of Dougie, Bratt, Pesce, or Shimon Nemec has got to go. So you're going to send Shimon Nemec down. Well, we're not going to send Nemec down. You're not sending Bratt Pesce to Utica. The only other guy on the roster you're trying to get rid of is Dougie Hamilton. So he has to sit. Okay, so that's what makes all this so interesting, okay? Here's what Sheldon Keefe had to say. Dougie's the odd man out. On the right side, we wanted to give Nemec an opportunity to get his game back going. Pesce isn't going anywhere. We talked about Kobe can bring and wanted to get him back involved. Now, the other problem that the Devils ran into with how this whole cap situation was managed, which you can thank the GM for, they had to bring Kovacevic back. You cannot hold a healthy player just down and still on IR forever before it becomes an NHLPA issue. Okay, so that was the other problem. And so, yeah, Dougie is the odd man out. If Kovacevic is back in, which everything seems to be going well, he practiced with Siegenthaler today. They'll check out how he is in the morning. Again, this is going to get swept under the rug, but I'm happy to have Kovacevic back. Okay, do I think he's a world beater? I don't. Do I think he saves every problem that this team has? No. But I will say this, and I'll give a little wink, okay? If I was Kalshi, or if I was going to Kalshi's website, I would be looking at Kovacevic's odds to score a goal tomorrow in Winnipeg. It'd be very interesting to me what that would look like. So obviously that's the massive story, and then just the underlying story is that Stefan Noesen is going to have knee surgery. He will be out an extended period of time. He is on IR, which is unfortunate. Okay, but a lot to dissect with Dougie Hamilton and a lot to go through what his agent said. Man, there's just so much right now. This team has to change. I don't know how many times I got to say it. They have to change. They have to change. They have to change. And we have to go. So leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Should Dougie be the odd man out? Should Dougie not be the odd man out? I'll leave it up to you to tell me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Thank you to Kalshi for sponsoring today's video. Much, much appreciated. Again, keep going out there, finding those odds. And especially with the NFL weekend coming up, there's so many games. It's kind of sickening. So enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna go enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll chat, man. Winnipeg and Minnesota back to back. New Jersey's got a big 2-game stretch coming here. So stay with us here on the channel. We'll keep bringing you the latest, greatest Devils content. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time on Devils Digest.